Alright, in this video I want to answer the question of whether or not Christianity is a cult. Because there's a lot of people who would look at a modern definition of cult and they'll say that it's basically any religion. If it has any kind of rituals and practices, it's a cult, right? So it doesn't differentiate between a religion and a cult. And I like to clear that up by saying that a cult actually has a man set up between you and God, you in the spiritual world, that you need to go through them and their hierarchy to go to God or the spiritual world. So Christianity wouldn't fit a cult because in Christianity there is no human head of the church. It's God. Jesus Christ is the head of the church, and each one of us can go to him at any time. So we don't have to submit to someone else's beliefs, someone else's convictions. We can have different convictions and beliefs than the other Christians because we're different members of the body. So if you're part of the hand, you're going to have different convictions than the foot, right? The same thing if you're part of the chest than if you're part of the knee, right? You have different jobs, or if you're an organ or a muscle or skeletal structure, right? There's different convictions that you have about your life, right? Where the skeletal structure would have to work with the muscles, but the bones are like, we're standing solid, we're not moving, right? So they may seem a bit stubborn. And the muscles will flex and fluctuate. Sometimes they'll hold firm, sometimes they'll let loose, sometimes they'll get really weak because of lack of use or what have you. But the stronger the bone is, the stronger the muscle becomes, and the stronger the muscle becomes, it strengthens the bone. So they work together, but they're different. So they have different convictions. But the bones do not dictate to the muscles, and the muscles don't dictate to the bones, right? They all listen to the head, the brain, right? So if you have a denomination that it sets up a man in place of God or their clergy, their leadership, their hierarchy, as your mediator between you and God, you and the spiritual world, then you have a cult. So you need to ask yourself, are you part of a cult? Because a lot of times when people think of Christianity, if they're not Christian and have no experience with Christianity, they think the Catholic Church. So if they look at the Catholic Church and they look at the definition of a cult and they look at my definition of a cult, they'll say, yeah, Christianity is a cult. But Christianity is not Catholicism. What Catholicism has is not something that's taught in the Bible. So I hope you think about that. And thanks for watching.
So that fella couldn't join the church. He couldn't join the church. He couldn't get baptized. He couldn't get baptized. He woke up with God. He woke up with the devil. Are you saved? Amen. So that fella didn't take the sacraments. Didn't take the sacraments. Didn't say the rosary. Didn't say the rosary. Didn't tithe. Didn't tithe. He went to heaven. He went to hell. You saved? Great. Didn't keep the law. He didn't keep the law. He broke the commandments. He broke the commandments. He didn't keep the golden rule. He didn't keep the golden rule. He woke up in glory. He woke up in the pit. Are you saved? You're saved. If you're not saved, you're over here or you're over here. You sure ain't in the middle. He said, Lord, remember me, thou comest thy kingdom. And Jesus turned to him and said, Verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be saved. Just like that. You have been saved? If you ever saved, you were saved like that.